Welcome to Education 206, Module 2. And we're going to jump in with student development with the material in this module. We'll explore how students learn and develop through the lens of major behavioral and cognitive theories. Understanding these theories is essential for planning instruction, managing classrooms, and meeting student needs. This is foundational knowledge that will help you succeed in this course and on the Praxis PLT exam. By the end of this module, we have a couple of goals, several goals that we want to make sure we accomplish. You'll identify and describe key learning theories, analyze how they connect to classroom practices, and apply that understanding in a quiz at the end of the module. Don't worry, you have 2 attempts to pass the quiz, and all material that you need is presented in Module 2. The quiz assesses both your content knowledge and your ability to think like a teacher, so to actually apply that knowledge. So what are learning theories? These are frameworks that help us explain how students learn. These aren't just abstract ideas. They directly inform how we teach, structure lessons, and manage our classrooms. We'll focus on 2 major categories: behavioral theories, which view learning as a response to external stimuli, and cognitive theories, which see learning as an internal active process. Both perspectives are important in K-12 education. So let's study B.F. Skinner's operant conditioning theory. Skinner believed that behavior is shaped by its consequences. In the classroom, this shows up in systems that reward good behavior and discourage unwanted behavior. Positive reinforcement adds a pleasant consequence, like praise, while negative reinforcement removes something unpleasant, like extra homework. Punishment does the opposite. It discourages behavior. Understanding reinforcement helps us manage classrooms and motivate students effectively. It also contributes to what we call positive classroom culture. Ivan Pavlov's classical conditioning focused on learning through association. He discovered that a neutral stimulus, like a bell, could be paired with an automatic response, like salivation, if repeated enough times. In education, this can translate to how students begin to associate certain classroom cues with emotional responses, like feeling calm when they hear soft music, or anxious when they hear a strict or strident tone or a teacher yelling. These associations matter when creating a positive learning environment. Next is Edward Thorndike's law of effect. Thorndike proposed that behaviors followed by positive outcomes are more likely to be repeated. This was one of the first formal theories of learning, and it laid the groundwork for Skinner. In classrooms, when students experience success, say through trial and error, they're more likely to try that behavior again. Teachers can build on this by offering low-risk opportunities for practice and feedback. Next is Jean Piaget's stages of cognitive development. Piaget viewed children as active learners who construct knowledge in stages. These stages, sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, and formal operational, help us understand what kinds of tasks students can handle at different ages. For example, younger students may struggle with abstract concepts, but thrive with hands-on learning. Key concepts like schemas, assimilation, and accommodation help explain how students adapt their understanding as they grow. Our next theory is Jerome Bruner's discovery learning. Bruner believed students learn best when they discover information for themselves. His spiral curriculum suggests revisiting ideas over time at increasing levels of complexity. A key teaching strategy for Bruner is scaffolding, giving students temporary support as they learn something new, especially when it's just beyond what they can do alone. This aligns with the idea of the zone of proximal development, which we'll talk about in the next slide. So Lev Vygotsky's social development theory is very important to our understanding of how students learn. He emphasized the importance of social interaction in learning. His concept of the zone of proximal development, or the ZBD is what we call it, ZPD is what we call it for short, a shorthand version of that. It's the range of tasks that a student can perform with guidance. So the more knowledgeable other, which could be a teacher or a peer, helps students move through this zone. Language and dialogue are essential tools in learning. And in your future classroom, this means encouraging collaboration and discussion. To wrap up this module, you'll complete a quiz based on what we've covered. It's your opportunity to demonstrate that you understand each theorist and how their ideas apply to real classrooms. You'll have 2 chances to pass the quiz. Be sure to review your notes, revisit the theories, and think about how you might apply them when planning lessons or managing the classroom. Additionally, there are many brief videos online if you feel like you need a little bit more explanation of any of these. They should coordinate with the psychology class that you're taking this semester or in previous semesters. So it should be a nice review for you. But in case you need a little bit of additional help, there are brief video clips that you can easily look up through a Google search if you need a little bit more support with any of these. Additionally, make sure you see the materials on Module 2. Best wishes, and we'll see you in Module 3.